Corona is not killing anyone. Corona is not killing anyone. Corona is attacking the sickness that is caused by government supported poisonous products. So 1 minute you want to talk about you care about our health. This is to the overall government when we know that it's not the case, because you are allowing poison to be a part of the standard American diet. And then when people get sick from it, and you want to act like we need vaccines, well, you wouldn't have to vaccinate anything if you would be proactive in making sure that we understand health, that is part of our kids growing up and our kids' education, instead of systematically setting it up where everyone doesn't, or not everyone rather, has access to healthy food, healthy education, healthy cognition. OK, so I don't believe in the whole all of a sudden now we care so much about health. It's not that, because we don't care about it when we have liquor signs posted on billboards. You know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody wants to do that on their own, so be it. But what I see is that the government supports the consumption of bodily poison that actually is a slow suicide diet. OK, so I'm not putting what Corona is attacking on Corona. I'm saying that, Corona can only attack in a fatal way a pre-existing condition, according to what you guys are telling us. And so what I'm saying is, how about we attack the pre-existing conditioning? OK, how about we attack that? How about we approach being smart and disciplined to not overconsume things that will give us pre-existing conditions in the first place. Brown people, the reason why we are disproportionate in that is because we're also disproportionate in the kind of diet that we have as a standard. OK, of course, the American diet, standard diet, is poisonous and slow suicide anyway. But we have some additives in what has been cultural, and traditional, that is more detrimental. So now, of course, we're going to be first in line when it comes to high blood pressure and high this and high death rate and high everything except for high health, you know what I'm saying, and high wealth. We're not first on the line when it comes to those highs, but when it comes to getting high, we ain't first in line neither. OK, brown folk get high. Everybody be getting high. Anyway, let me get off of that rant. But the point is, I would like for us to love ourselves enough as individuals to make sure we're doing all we can for ourselves. Don't wait until something comes to attack the bad we've already done and try to put all of the blame on that. Put the blame that you own on you too. OK, and so, yes, we have something that attacks pre-existing conditions. Some of the pre-existing conditions are not conditions that we can control, but most of them are. A lot of the conditions came out of conditioning. OK, by eating the fun all the time. And so then something like this comes along, and instead of it taking us out at 60, it may take us out at 30. You understand? And definitely, if you are so conditioned with poison by the time you're 60, it's coming for you immediately. But the point is, it's not all on the virus. The virus exists, obviously, but the detriment that's been coming out of it, the fatalities that's been coming out of it, has been coming out of something that was before it. Get it? Pre-existing. In other words, before this, before Corona, there was a pre-existing condition. You know what I mean? Now, I remember Mother Cole at West Angeles Church used to say, don't give the devil no room. Don't give him no room. Don't give him no room. She was talking about me and my life, but she was saying, don't give the devil no room. And so what I'm saying is, don't give Corona no room. OK, let's do our best, at least. It doesn't mean that there are things that will come up outside of our control, physically. But for many of us, we are able to do much better. And when it comes to our health, but just face it, just be real. It's not as fun. It's not as fun when you've been conditioned to eat, poison and you can get healthy groceries, but you stop by Popeyes on the way home. It's not fun to be disciplined. It's not always, be honest with you, it's not always fun to love yourself first. That love is not always a fun feeling. It sounds good, but a lot of us do not. I won't even say us because I'm not in that category. I'm not going to put myself in that category to seem like I'm extra relatable. But a lot of people don't love themselves. Some of you that may see this may be that you may think you love the idea of your existence, but loving you as far as an action may be a different story. When you love you, you want to take care of you. You want to do good to you. You know what I mean? When you have a child that you love, even though the child wants something, if you know it's not good for you, you're not just going to give it to the child talking about it's because I love him or her. Okay, because it's like, well, if you know better than that for him and her, how can you love her and then give her something that's going to tear her up by the end of the day, or him up by the end of the day? All right. So, we need to revisit the idea of loving ourselves. Loving ourselves don't mean you just don't let somebody beat on you. That's not the, extent of loving yourself. What about you loving you? You putting good stuff in you. You at least doing your best if the budget does not allow, which I know so much about. Then curtailing the choices that you make with the budget that you have. If you can't do all three things, what can you do two? If you can't do two, can you do one? But how can I love myself in my situation and my circumstance under, these conditions? How can I love myself? And when we actually start loving us, then and I'm saying individual, because brown is a color, it's not a people, and keep getting that stuff mixed up, calling brown brown is not a race. Okay, or as they call it, black, but I call it brown because brown is what it is. Okay, black is on my head. My skin, as you can see, is a different color. So I hate that whole term black. This is ridiculous. It's stupid. Always was and still is. But anyway, but I understand that, that's a popular term and that's what's used. In context, what we say is black. I'm saying brown, same thing. It is not a race. It is a color, and it is the color of many different nations. It is the color of people from all over the world. It is not a race. Okay, it's not like brown. It's not like Mexican or even those who the term Jewish. All of that. It's not that. Brown is not a particular people. It's the color of many peoples. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I think I'll cut this rant here off in the 7 minutes frame. I'll cut it off about here, just kind of ranting, and I still have on my sunglasses and hat because I think it looks cool in the frame, but I just came in from outside. So that's what that is. So part of it is kind of being cool, but the other part is just it was still on. And I just thought about how wonderful my mother has set me up in the sacrifices she made. And when I did, I sat down at the piano to play a song she used to like me hearing. While I was playing the song she liked me playing, I was coming up with stuff, and then I just pressed record, and then I started talking. That's how all this happened. But anyway, love y'all. Don't get none on you. If you do, wipe it off.